You know what? I can defend it, but I can't necessarily defend the way, I can explain it, but I can't defend the way the teacher's doing it. I think there might be a problem with that. Now let me show you what we have here. I have 8 beads here. I have 5 beads here, all right? Now, traditionally, when we're taught to add them, we're taught to just kind of put them together, and then we count them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, blah, 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 until we get to 13, all right? But if you could think of it this way, it sort of helps out a little differently. I have 8 here. How many more do I need to make 10? I need 2 more to make 10. Boom, there's 2. I could take that away. I can replace it with a 10, and suddenly I have a 10 and 3, a 10 and a 3, and that of course makes the number 13. All right, voila. Now, there's a problem with the way this was presented. I could tell from probably the way the teacher presented it and stuff, is that that's something we really want to build up in our minds, is to be able to change in our head, go, how many do I need from this set of numbers to create the thing that goes up to the next decimal place? You need 10 to move up to the next decimal place. I need 10 total. I have 8 there. How many from here do I need? That's 2, so that makes, you should automatically be able to go, okay, well that leaves 3 there, and that's a 10, and then there's 10 and 3, and that's 13. That sort of makes sense, right? The problem is probably the way the teacher presented it. The way the teacher phrased the question is very confusing, and it doesn't really help. I notice if you don't work with materials like this, then it doesn't really help them to really learn the concept. So I have a problem with the way it was taught. I don't necessarily have a problem with learning that way. I think it's good. I think it's good to learn another way, so you can start to picture how things move around in math. Or I could take that 5 and just add 5 from here, and that leaves 10 and 3, right? And I can picture that in my head. But I bet you the teacher is doing it entirely with pencil and paper, and the child really doesn't get it. Or at least not doing it enough with the materials, with any kind of materials. And so that's where I have a problem with it. Not what the teacher's trying to teach, but I don't think the way most teachers teach it really works well. If they work with these kind of materials all the time, it's really how I think of math. If I think of 8 plus 5, I actually take the 8, I take 2 off of the 5 in my head, know that leaves 3, and I automatically have a 10, and it becomes 13. It's actually the way I think about math, but it's not the way most people do. And it's not the way we've been taught, and I think people are just kind of thrown into trying to teach this new way without really getting it. So that's my thought.